First of all, thanks Senior Exam for inviting me to give a speech related on the PCET Medical calculator according to article World Health Organization, Field Evaluation of Vaccine Efficacy, Walter A. Orenstein et al., 1985. The ideal vaccine efficacy study is a clinical trial starting with persons susceptible to disease. In a double-blind randomized placebo-controlled fashion, half of the children receive vaccine and half receive placebo. To calculate vaccine efficacy, both groups are followed prospectively to determine attack rates for disease in vaccinees and non-vaccinees. This type of study is generally not possible after a vaccine has been licensed because the vaccine is of proven benefit and use of a placebo is unethical. In most countries today, measles vaccine has been used in a proportion of the population. These vaccinees are a self-selected rather than a randomly selected group, and their susceptibility prior to vaccination is generally unknown. Nonetheless, vaccine efficacy studies are still possible if biases are reduced to a minimum in order to recreate as closely as possible the ideal conditions of the prospective clinical trial. Calculation of vaccine efficacy. General principles: vaccine efficacy is measured by calculating the incidence rates, attack rates, of disease among vaccinated and unvaccinated persons and determining the percent reduction in the incidence rate of disease among vaccinated persons relative to unvaccinated persons. The basic formula is written as shown. V equals ARA minus of div ARA multiple 100%, where V equals vaccine efficacy, RU equals attack rate in unvaccinated population, RV equals attack rate in vaccinated population. 1. The attack rate in the unvaccinated, ARU, equals B div B plus E. B is the number of unvaccinated cases during the outbreak and C is the number of unvaccinated who did not develop measles during the outbreak. 2. The attack rate in the vaccinated, AV, equals A div A plus D. A is the number of vaccinated cases during the outbreak and D is the number of vaccinated who did not develop measles during the outbreak. For example, if the vaccine were totally effective, there would be no disease in the vaccinated population and the calculation would simplify to ARA minus 0, div ARA multiple 100 equals 100%. By ARA contrast, if the vaccine had no effect at all, ARU would equal AV and the calculation would simplify to 0, div ARA multiple 100 equals 0%. Proof of the Peter-Chu formula. As mentioned, the vaccine efficacy formula as shown. If the vaccination process is K% of the total target unvaccinated population. Therefore, the total number of vaccinated population is K% of the total number of unvaccinated people. A plus D equals K%, B plus C as shown. Formula can simplify till Peter-Chu formula V equals B minus A div K%, div B multiple 100%, where V equals vaccine efficacy, B equals unvaccinated infect rate, A equals vaccinated infect rate, K% equals the percentage of a vaccinated group is compared with an unvaccinated group for research and vaccination of medical worker. Usually the total number of unvaccinated equals total number of vaccinated, so K equals 100. Therefore, V equals B minus A, div B multiple 100%. Peter-Chu formula is similar to the sum of n terms of geometric series example. According to study, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, safety and efficacy of the BNT162b2 mRNA COVID-19 vaccine, Fernando P. Polak et al., 2020. By a total of 43,548 participants underwent randomization, of whom 43,448 received injections. 21,720 with BNT162b2 and 21,728 with placebo. There were 8 cases of COVID-19 with onset at least 7 days after the second dose among participants assigned to receive BNT162b2 and 162 cases among those assigned to placebo. BNT162b2 was 95% effective in preventing COVID-19. Data 1 has shown, K% equals 99.96318%. Table data as shown where total vaccinated is 21,720 and TOTSL placebo is 21,728. As shown, for normal calculation, we get V equals 95.0599%. For Peter-Chu formula, VE value as same 95.0599%. By using Peter-Chu formula when K equals 100, we get VE equals 95.0617%. Note, if the total vaccination the total placebo, we can let K% equals 100%, then the final answer of VE is almost the same, 95.06%. Therefore, the advantage of Peter-Chu formulator is that we can assume a high target population of vaccination with K equals 100, such as the medical worker group. When K equals 100, the calculation becomes very simple. Let we modify the data 1. Let process of vaccination just 90% the total target group. So for vaccinated data, all our 90% form original data. Modify data 1 as shown, K% equals 89.967%. Table data as shown where total vaccinated is 19,548 and TOTSL placebo is 21,728. As shown, for normal calculation, we get VE equals 95.0599%. For Peter-Chu formula, VE value as same 95.0599%. By using Peter-Chu formula when K equals 100, we get VE equals 95.556%. Note, if the total vaccination 90% of the total placebo, the result of K% equals 100%, 95.556%, is not much different from the original answer of 95.06%. Therefore, the advantage of Peter-Chu formulator is that we can assume a high target population of vaccination with K equals 100, such as the medical worker group. All tau may be just 90% vaccinated. When K equals 100, the calculation becomes very simple. Relative risk. The relative risk, RR, is the ratio of the probability of an outcome in an exposed group to the probability of an outcome in an unexposed group. RR equals posability, exposed group, divide posability, unexposed group. For example, in a study examining the effect of the drug apixaban on the occurrence of thromboembolism, 8.8% of placebo-treated patients experienced the disease, whereas only 1.7% of patients treated with the drug experienced the disease. Therefore the risk ratio is calculated as 1.7 divided 8.8, which is 0.19. This can be interpreted as those receiving apixaban had 19% the risk of recurrent thromboembolism than did patients receiving the placebo. In this case, apixaban is considered to be a protective factor rather than a risk factor because it is associated with causing a reduced risk of disease. Assuming the causal effect between the exposure and the outcome, values of RR can be interpreted as follows. RR equals 1 means that exposure does not affect the outcome. RR 1 means that the risk of the outcome is decreased by the exposure, which can be called a protective factor. RR 1 means that the risk of the outcome is increased by the exposure. The study, published by NCBI, the National Center for Biotechnology Information Advances Science and Health, Relative Risk, Stephen Tenney et al., 2020. Relative risk is a ratio of the probability of an event occurring in the exposed group versus the probability of the event occurring in the non-exposed group. RR equals possibility, exposed group, divide possibility, unexposed group. The study published in National Library of Medicine, Study Designs for Evaluating Different Efficacy and Effectiveness Aspects of Vaccines, Emmy Halloran et al., 2020. Vaccine efficacy and effectiveness, VE, are generally measured as 1 minus some measure of relative risk, RR, in the vaccinated group compared with the unvaccinated group. VE equals 1 minus RR. Relation between vaccine efficiency, VE, and relative risk as shown. Calculation of Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine efficacy for Malaysian healthcare workers. This example shows how the public calculates the efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccine through local news. 1. News. Second dose of COVID-19 vaccinations to start on Wednesday, the 17th of March. Cause fully vaccinated, 2 weeks after the second dose. Based on CDC. Fully vaccination is the 1st of April, after second dose plus 2 weeks. 2. News. The 17th of April. COVID-19. Healthcare workers infected after vaccination had less severe symptoms, says Health DG. Report 9 healthcare workers infected after fully vaccinated. We assume till the 16th of April, 9 healthcare workers infected the 1st of April to the 16th of April 2021 equals 16 days. So we can assume 9 healthcare workers infected officers infected per 16 days after fully vaccination. It mean after fully vaccine, average healthcare workers infected equals 9 divide 16 equals 0.5625 per day. 3. News. Covid-19 outbreak in Malaysia. The 25th of January 2020, the first case of Covid-19 was detected in Malaysia. 4. News. The 5th of February 2021, Covid-19, almost 5,000 healthcare workers infected so far, 2/3 of them women. There are 4,756 healthcare workers have been infected with Covid-19 so far, before vaccination. Let us assume start day as the 25th of January 2020. First case of Covid-19 was detected in Malaysia, the 25th of January 2020 till the 5th of February 2021 around 376, 11 plus 365 days. So, it mean before vaccination, average healthcare workers infected equals 4,756 divide 376 equals 12.65 per day. Table data has shown average vaccinated healthcare workers infected equals 0.5625 per day. Average unvaccinated healthcare workers infected equals 12.65 per day. Where total vaccinated is 19,548 and TOTSL placebo is 21,728. By using Peter-Chu formula when K equals 100, we get V equals 95.55%. 1 divide RR equals 22.47. Note, this calculation result is consistent with the real-world study conducted by Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine, and its effectiveness is about 95%. 1 divide RR equals 22.47 indicates that the risk of infection of the unvaccinated target population is 22 times that of the vaccinated target population. 5. News. The 5th of February 2021. More study shows Pfizer vaccine 95% effective. A real-world study conducted among healthcare workers in Malaysia showed the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine was 95% effective in preventing COVID-19, Dr. Adam Barber said today. Note, by using public news information, the public can use the Peter-Chu formula to easily calculate COVID-19 vaccine efficacy. Results. The efficiency of Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine for Malaysian medical worker calculated by using the Peter-Chu formula is 95.0599%. In addition, the calculation of Peter-Chu's formula also shows that before the vaccination, about 12 medical staff were infected every day, but after the full vaccination, only about 1 medical worker was infected every 2 days. The calculation of relative risk can also make it easier for the public to know that people who are not vaccinated with Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine are 22 times more likely to be infected than people who are fully vaccinated. The above results can convince those who easily question the effectiveness of vaccination. Conclusions. Peter-Chu formula easy to calculate, and the data required for the Peter-Chu formula calculation easy to obtain from public news. This is to ensure that the public can calculate the efficacy of the vaccine by themselves. The information on the calculation can let public compare the average target group get infected every day before and after fully vaccination is also an advantage to let public know the effectiveness of vaccination. One of the advantage of Peter-Chu formulator is that we can assume a high target population of vaccination with K equals 100, such as the medical worker group. When K equals 100, the Peter-Chu formula calculation becomes very simple. According to article from Proofs and Mathematical Reasoning, Agata Stefanovic et al., 2014. Mathematical proof is absolute, which means that once a theorem is proved, it is proved forever. Until proven though, the statement is never accepted as a true one. Therefore, the proof of Peter-Chu formula must also be shown.
PCET Calculator version 2 are adding COVID-19 related new formula. The World Health Organization (WHO) said the situation in India was a devastating reminder of what the coronavirus could do. COVID-19 cases suddenly spiked across India. Preprint study app raise public awareness of the importance of COVID-19 vaccination. 4 Can visually see countries where vaccination is slow and it is difficult to control the spread of COVID-19. This is what is happening in India now. Preprint study, Vaccination Education App 1, shows that most people do not take the COVID-19 vaccine because they question the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. Preprint study, PCET formula for calculate COVID-19 vaccine efficiency. Create a new simple formula for calculate the efficiency of the COVID-19 vaccine. Based on considerations, some members of the public have very weak computing power or do not have enough time to perform calculations. Therefore, the new PCET formula needs to be applied to the PCET calculator version 2. Although there are already online calculators for calculating relative risks, such as MedCalc statistical software, existing formulas require more data, and some data is difficult to obtain from public news, which makes it difficult for the public to calculate on their own. As a result, confidence in the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine has declined. Using the PCET calculator of PCET's formula, you can easily obtain the required data from the public news. Therefore, the public can use the PCET calculator to easily calculate the COVID-19 vaccine efficiency and confidence of the COVID-19 vaccine, and to register the vaccine. PCET formula easy to calculate, and the data required for the PCET formula calculation easy to obtain from public news. This is to ensure that the public can calculate the efficacy of the vaccine by themselves. The information on the calculation can let public compare the average target group get infected every day before and after fully vaccination is also an advantage to let public know the effectiveness of vaccination. One of the advantage of PCET formulator is that we can assume a high target population of vaccination with K equals 100, such as the medical worker group. When K equals 100, the PCET formula calculation becomes very simple. The home page of the application. The logo COVID-19 related formula has been added, and the user can go to the COVID-19 related formula page by simply pressing the logo. There will be two options on the COVID-19 related formula page: use the conventional formula to calculate the COVID-19 vaccine efficiency, or use the PCET formula to calculate the COVID-19 vaccine efficiency. Press title to get information about vaccine efficiency and relative risk. Press the buy logo to end the game. For the normal calculation page, press title to get an example. Press the PCET calculator logo to go to homepage. After type all data, press calculate. For the PCET formula page for calculating the efficiency of the COVID-19 vaccine, press the PCET calculator logo to go to homepage. For the PCET formula page for calculating the efficiency of the COVID-19 vaccine, K does not equal 100. Press the PCET calculator logo to go to homepage. Press title to get an example. After type all data, press calculate. For the PCET formula page for calculating the efficiency of the COVID-19 vaccine, K 100. Press the PCET calculator logo to go to homepage. Press title to get an example. After type all data, press calculate. The advantage of PCET's formula is that we can assume a high target vaccination population with K equals 100, such as a target group of medical workers. When K equals 100, the calculation of Peter-Chew's formula is very simple. V equals B, A, B by 100%. Another advantage of Peter-Chew formula is that public can easily obtain the required data from public news, which allows the public to easily calculate on their own. As a result, confidence in the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine has increased. Peter-Chew formula for calculate COVID-19 vaccine efficiency available at Research Square. Medical worker H, Index 1. Calculation formula H, Index 12. Target population H, Index 32. Serious illness H, Index 50. New England H, Index 106. World Health H, Index 155. Relative Risk H, Index 157. The Public H, Index 170. Safety and Efficacy H, Index 182. The World H, Index 352.
Best reviews. Guide. Nowadays, you can do all your shopping with just a few clicks on a website. But deciding what to buy hasn't become any easier. In fact, with so many options for each product and so many competitors, it probably has become harder. Best Reviews Guide is a website designed to help you with the decision making. It rates the top brands and best products in each product category, rated according to customer reviews and buying trends. The site uses special algorithms to generate lists of the best brands. The lists of best products are updated regularly, so you can be sure that the information provided is up to date. Once you have made a decision, you'll be provided with a direct link to major retailers of the products, to seamlessly make your purchase. IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator. Top products in UK. Age Calculator. Best Review Guide. May 2022. Blackwell Bookshops sell IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator. The first bookshop opened by a member of the Blackwell family was in Oxford, but was actually in 1846. We take the year of 1879 as our founding, since it was on the 1st of January of that year that our bookshop on Broad Street, Oxford, first opened its doors, and we have been trading continuously from there ever since. 1879 was the year that Thomas Edison created the first light bulb. Broad Street was cobbled and, no doubt, filled with the sound of hooves clipping along it. IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator. Top products in Canada. Age Calculator. Best Review Guide. May 2022. Bookshops sell IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator at Canada, such as Black Bond Books, Perfect Books, Tanner's Books, Wordsworth Books, McNally Robinson Booksellers and Bacchus Books and Cafe. IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator. Top products in India. Age Calculator. Best Review Guide. May 2022. India Bookstore sell IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator. India Bookstore is the fastest way to compare book prices and buy books from online booksellers in India. Bookshops sell IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator at United States. Bookshops sell IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator at United States, such as The Last Bookstore, House of Book, Making Worlds, Oxford Exchange Bookstore, Tattered Cover Bookstore, Midtown Reader, Lion's Tooth, Intermission Bookshop and John's Creek Books and Gifts. Book Kinokuniya in the world sell IEH Calculator, PCET Calculator and PCET Medical Calculator. Journal of Exploratory Research in Pharmacology, JERP, a peer-reviewed journal published by Shia and He Publishing Incorporated. JERP focused on novel findings and the most recent advances in basic and clinical pharmacology, covering topics in drug research, drug development, clinical trials and application. Article Processing Charge, APC, for Journal of Exploratory Research in Pharmacology is $800 and APC is charged for all article types that are accepted by XHP journals, except editorial types. For descriptions of specific article types, Refer to the article type page of each journal. Editors-in-Chief Journal of Exploratory Research in Pharmacology are Professor Ramon Cacabelas, International Center of Neuroscience and Genomic Medicine, EuroESP's Biomedical Research Center, Coruña, Spain, and Professor Ben J. Gu. The Florey Institute of Neuroscience and Mental Health, Parkville, Australia. Journal of Exploratory Research in Pharmacology invited to submit Peter Chu formula for calculate COVID-19 vaccine efficiency as invited article, benefits as invited article, rigorous peer review of all submitted manuscripts, easy to use submission system, with no manuscript formatting requirements, article promotion and various social networking sites for increasing impacts, downloads and citations, no article processing charge or any other cost for this invited article. Systemic Reviews in Pharmacy invited to publish Peter Chu formula for calculate COVID-19 vaccine efficiency, and we found it to be very interesting. Clinical Research found that your article with this title, Peter Chu formula for calculate COVID-19 vaccine efficiency, is interesting and close to their journal scope. Clinical Research, Open Access, CLROA, spearheads the recent revolution in understanding human diseases, their diagnosis, and provides integrative medical concepts, key aspects of management, prevention, and treatment of those lethal diseases for better patient care. Clinical Research found that your article with this title, Peter Chu formula for calculate COVID current research, integrative medicine, have gone through Peter Chu formula for calculate COVID-19 vaccine efficiency and would like to invite to contribute to paper for publication in the forthcoming issue. Scope, Integrative Medicine.
Thanks for listening.